Here's a story with UCLA, year one in the Big Ten for the Bruins. Got them into the NCAA tournament. They were a second-round NCAA tourney team. Got a lot of star power back. Tyler Bilodeau is their leading scorer from a year ago. Eric Daly back as well. So top two scorers back for Mick Cronin, and got one of the really big portal stars in Donovan Dent, who was the Mountain West Player of the Year at New Mexico. Mick Cronin is with us now, and Mick, I'm nothing if not predictable, so I've asked the other two West Coast guys this. I'm going to ask you the same thing, just because I'm interested in what surprised you in year one. What did you learn in year one in the Big Ten that maybe you didn't know, and how does it impact kind of how you run your program going forward here?
I thought the parity was what I thought it would be. I mean, we had that weird thing last year where three teams didn't make the Big Ten tournament, and there was a six-way tie at 7 and 13. So how many leagues have six teams finish with the same record? So the parity, I thought, was there. I think coaching in some of the arenas was what I thought it would be. Illinois was awesome. Indiana, Purdue. This year we get to go to Michigan State. So there wasn't a whole lot that really surprised me. I knew the coaching was great. Some of the atmospheres were awesome. And some of the weather's terrible.
Really?
We're spoiled. Trust me, we're spoiled. Every day, Bruce, when I go to work, I turn left on Sunset Boulevard. Okay? And there's not much better than that.
You spend a fair amount of your time in your life and in your career not turning west on streets called, or they would be misnamed. Sunset
there was no
Boulevard.
Sunset.
Cincinnati, yeah.
No Sunset.
I don't know the streets in Cincinnati that well, but
might have been a tanning salon.
Hey, tell me a little bit about Donovan Dent. I mean, I mentioned it. Guy everyone wanted in the portal. Give us a sense for his game, how he fits in, and.
Well, first of all, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. We're adjusting to each other. When you have an offensive talent like him, you've got to try to make sure you're giving him the room to operate to be at his best. You get him in the open court, he's really unstoppable. Not just for himself, but for his teammates. He's an elite passer. And then, he's adjusting to me with my demands on his defensive effort and to tighten up his ball security. So it's a process, but he's got real offensive talent, and his teammates love him because look, you're going to be wide open because it's really hard to defend him with one guy if you put him in the right space. And I'm just trying to get him to realize he doesn't have to overdo it for us, Coach. Like, we have other guys, and Skyy Clark, Tyler Bilodeau, Eric Daly, Trent Perry off the bench. Like, we got big guys that can finish running to the rim with him. So he doesn't have to force maybe the action as much as he did last year.
I was going to ask Dana this, and I'm not asking you the travel.
Yeah.
The new league. Last year I sat with Dana, and he goes, Coach, we have 6 trips we're going to have to go. Did it take a toll on the guys, do you think, or did they get used to it? And we always say, oh, you're going to be an NBA guy, you're going to have to do it anyway, so you might as well get used to it if that's where you think you can be.
The difference is the pros don't go to class. And they don't have homework.
Yes.
I got in a little trouble for saying something about our flight in the NCAA tournaments. We didn't have the internet, but I was dead serious. Like at UCLA, we're in a quarter system. Our guys are in finals. And it's an elite school, Coach. So we take proctors with us, not just the academic people. And literally, guys are taking finals. We're planning to take it on the plane on the way to Lexington for the NCAA tournament. But to answer your question, I think there's a time in your schedule where the travel will affect you. For us, it happened after Christmas. We rebounded. We went on a roll after that. I think late in the year we handled it better. But I think it's inevitable at some point for the West Coast teams because you have to travel more. It's going to have an effect on you. But look, there's the Big Ten regular season champion, not to say it doesn't matter, but this day and age, it's all about March Madness, getting to the tournament. Yep. So you got to try to use it to grow. The key is not to panic. Because like they say in the NBA, sometimes the schedule is going to get you. And we played 2 home games out of our first 7 Big Ten games. So no matter what happens early, we got to realize like that's a tough stretch.
And that's why you responded. Then you won. You got home, and then you won games. It's not brain surgery, right? That's pretty simple. So you've accomplished so much. I looked at it, 22 seasons, 503 wins. That's unbelievable. Conference Coach of the Year 3 times. Has your style changed? Are you going to change this year a little bit?
I think you always have to adjust your personnel. Yeah, I think all of us have changed. The Big Ten has changed. People say, what's it like to coach in the Big Ten? Well, there was a time of ground and pound, right?
Yes.
I mean,
I was there.
Many years.
60 passes.
You were leading the way.
Yeah.
You weren't just there.
How about when you were an assistant?
Yes, that's what
yeah.
we had 60 passes on one possession.
Right. Now that's pre-shot clock. We're now
the defense.
You got analytics involved and floor spacing and 7-foot guys shooting threes. I mean, the world has just completely changed. So I think you have to adjust to it. Obviously, with us, we have a dynamic guy out front with the ball and Donovan Dent, but also Skyy Clark and Trent Perry. So our guard play is a strength of our team. Spacing the floor with Tyler Bilodeau as a shooter, as a bigger guy, is a strength of our team. And having some guys back like Eric Daly, who had a great sophomore year, averaged double figures as a sophomore. Look, a returning player, as you know, is a premium this day and age. I mean, we used to always have returning players. You had a team that you had with D Brown and Darren Williams and Augustine. I remember that team.
Yeah.
You had those guys. They all came back, and you went to the national championship game. Nowadays, if you have 3, you got a lot of returners. So that's a good thing for us.
Speaking of going to national championship games, UCLA has an unbelievable tradition. So I think to a certain extent this is an expectation when you're at a place like UCLA. But you're a team that's being talked about as a top 10 team, as a Final Four capable team. How do you address that, if at all, with your guys?
Well, what I did was called Brian Dutcher. And I said, let's play an exhibition game at San Diego State, where they'll pack the house. UCLA's never played there, and probably stick it to us. And
Here's how good we are.
Get them humbled.
That should humble the troops really quick when we go down there for that game. You like that move, Coach?
Yes, I do. I think it's great.
Play is tough. The new rule where you can play Division I teams in exhibitions is huge. Then I called the best coach on the West Coast that nobody knows, Russell Turner. Let's play Irvine, who I want no part of in the regular season.
They beat me in the NCAA tournament,
He beats everybody.
so I know.
He beats everybody. Let's play them in an exhibition where you can't get a basket inside of 6 feet against Irvine as long as Coach Russell Turner's there. So I think you got to try to make it hard on them early, give them a little bit of a dose of reality. I've been giving it to them in practice. I don't have a problem telling them.
I find that very easy to believe.
But I still think they think they're a little bit better than I think they are right now. So, it's all about where you finish, not where you start. Yeah. So, but I think show me as somebody, a team or a person that's not humble, and I'll show you one getting ready to get humbled.
Well, you've shown your hand here. If they're watching, they now understand the strategy.
Yes.
Mick Cronin, this was great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate you. That is the head coach of the Bruins, Mick Cronin. We take a look at the schedule. These are the games that are going to count. These aren't the exhibition games, and some really good ones there. And talk about elite West Coast teams that they're going to be playing. Arizona, Gonzaga, obviously the conference rivals in Washington and Oregon. And then you see some of the games in the Midwest, including battles at Michigan and Michigan State. The home and home with USC right there at the end of the year for the Bruins and the Trojans. A lot to look forward to with this crew. Should be a fabulous team, Andy.
It definitely should, and I want to pick up on that schedule and a point that Mick Cronin was talking about in terms of traveling. Andy Katz, Raphael Davis here with Tyler Bilodeau and Skyy Clark. And it's pretty interesting that UCLA's non-conference schedule does not leave the Pacific time zone. And Mick just talked about the 2 exhibition games, also in the Pacific time zone at San Diego State, home Irvine. I was with you guys in New York last year. That didn't go as well. I mean, there was a lot of travel in the conference and in the non-conference. UCLA ends up pulling out of that CBS Sports Classic that would have been in Atlanta. What are your thoughts on keeping everything in November and December in one time zone?
Yeah, I think it'll be good for us. Obviously, we had to get used to the travel last year and everything, but we're a West Coast team, and there's a lot of great teams on the West Coast. So I think getting those games will be really good for us.
Yeah, like what Skyy said, I think it's going to be good. With so much travel during the Big Ten regular season, I think it'll just be good to kind of get our bearings, get everything right for the season, and the Big Ten schedule.
Skyy, you picked it up to finish last season. When you look at it, you go back and look at the way you guys finished out. Your final 7 wins of the year, you were averaging over 13 points a game. You were at 55% from the field. You were at 47% from 3. What clicked for you throughout the end of the season, the way it allowed you to finish the way you did?
I think just the whole season, I was on a new team and everything, and I was still just trying to find my role. I was also going through some personal things. And, I just had a great support system around me. I have great teammates, I had a great coaching staff and everything. And, they just really instilled a lot of confidence in me in the whole year. And I think that just showed the last few games.
So, and we know you got you, Tyler, you got you, Skyy, you got Trent Perry, one of my favorite players that no one talks about. You still got Eric Daly, but you guys added a bunch of players in that mix, including Donovan Dent, which we all talk about. But who has surprised you guys outside of the people that we all know? Who's kind of popped off this offseason and during practice?
Well, I'm going to have to go with, Book and Steven Jamerson been playing well, but I think Jamar Brown has really took a big step for us. Just every day in practice, brings it every single day. One of the best rebounders, at the guard spot that I've seen. So I think he's a huge pickup for us.
Yeah, I'd agree. All the pieces we've added have been amazing for us. And but I'd say Jamar definitely has been one of the biggest. He's literally impossible to box out. He plays so hard. He could go play the whole practice. I was like, yo, you need a sub? He'd be like, nah, I'm good. He'll go get 2 more offensive rebounds. So he's going to be great for us.
And when you say Book, you mean Xavier Booker, the transfer from Michigan State. Mick Cronin was saying that he gets on you guys sometimes. That's no shocker there. We're not breaking news. But what is the difference a year ago when there was a lot of new faces, including the 2 of you, to his coaching, to now this year where there's a core returning and he may not have to get on you guys as much, maybe the newcomers, but you can also help bridge that gap of like, okay, this is what he's trying to do. Now let's all come together. How has that worked out this year versus last year? Start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we know what to expect, especially with this returning group. We know what Coach Cronin's all about, what UCLA basketball is about. And I think with the new guys and those younger guys, I think we can help bring them along and, make things as smooth as possible and just trying to get better every day.
Yeah, like he said, we know what to expect from Cronin. He knows what to expect from us. We know what to expect from each other. And we were definitely telling the new guys, like, what to expect from Cronin. And, just do what he says, play hard, work hard. Don't be on nothing crazy, and it's going to be a fun time for sure.
I like that. Do what he says.
Yep.
Listen.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
Yep.
These 2 guys have a legit shot to be part of a Final Four team out of the Big Ten. UCLA is going to be a team to watch throughout the course of the season.